The conflict between social media giants and the center continues, even as Facebook and WhatsApp are yet to comply, along with Twitter, are yet to comply with guidelines that have been laid down by the Indian government. Now, WhatsApp has gone to the Delhi High Court against the center, basically saying that the instructions given by the center are violative of the privacy guidelines. But the center, in a statement, has clarified that they do not intend to violate any individual's privacy. The only cases where information about the source of the content is going to be sought are cases where the security of the country is threatened.
आज ट्विटर से लड़ाई थी, इंस्टाग्राम को बैन करने की बात हो रही थी, अब व्हाट्सएप भी कोर्ट पहुंच गया है क्योंकि आपने ऐसे कानून बनाए हैं जो सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स को गंवारा नहीं है। सच तो ये है कि सरकार को मिल बैठकर समझदारी से प्लेटफॉर्म से बात कर लोगों की प्राइवेसी को ध्यान में रखकर कानून बनाने, ना कि बदले की राजनीति से। ये समझना बहुत जरूरी है।
It is unfair that we have a government which continues to undermine every democratic norms just because it enjoys unchecked power and it enjoys creating a platform or controlling platforms which continue to serve their agenda and their purpose. Anyone going against it will be held in violation of law. This is extremely unfortunate and goes against the democratic norms, and I'm hoping that the courts will ensure that there's a more nuanced policy put into place which will ensure accountability over control of narratives and control of such platforms.
A clear line is to be drawn in a very appropriate, balanced way as to where does the freedom of expression or right to privacy end and where does the issue of national security crops up. I think this can be settled by a very dispassionate legal mind in days to come.
All right, joining us now on the debate. In fact, the larger debate, of course, is privacy versus security, but right now it has turned into a political face-off as well. China NC spokesperson of the BJP, Jiten Jain, director at Voyager InfoSec, Abhishek Malhotra, technology law expert, Sujata Paul, political analyst. I want to ask you first, China NC, the charges against the government now, and it's being made by WhatsApp, is that this is an effort to try and violate the privacy of private citizens.
Padmaja, absolutely not. The government respects the right to privacy and has no intention to violate any personal space. But yes, there are requirements when that comes to a prevention, investigation or punishment of very serious offences related to the sovereignty and integrity of India, when it comes to a security of state, friendly relations with foreign states or public order, and incitement of offences relating to issues such as rape, sexually explicit material or child sex abuse. Now, we must understand what Ravi Shankar Prasad said. He said none of the measures proposed by India will impact the normal functioning of WhatsApp in any manner whatsoever for the common users. And there will be no impact. If at all, he has said that the judicial dictum of no fundamental right, including right to privacy, is absolute, and of course there needs to be reasonable restrictions. It is important to understand that these guidelines have been part of Rule 42 of the intermediary guideline as well, which has been set as a precedent. Now, as per the intermediary guideline, the originator of information can be traced in a scenario where the remedies are proven to be ineffective. And I think it's important for us to understand that such information can be sought in a process through sanctity of law by incorporating sufficient legal safeguards. We are not for 1 minute suggesting
so tell me this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let me ask Abhishek Malhotra, then why this allegation, Abhishek Malhotra, that this is an effort to try and snoop on citizens? Is a country not supposed to have legal safeguards, especially at a time when people are saying that WhatsApp has turned into a fake news university, sometimes with very dangerous consequences? Abhishek Malhotra.
Yeah, so the issue really is this. There already exist enough provisions in the Information Technology Act. There is preservation and retention of material under Section 67C. There is interception power given under Section 69. There is power under Section 69A for blocking of public access. Relevant safeguards under these provisions exist because these have been made specifically actionable in the event that the conditionalities under Article 19.2 of the Constitution of India are satisfied. They are specifically mentioned in the provision itself. However, the problem is that the additional level of, I would say, another layer that is sought to be brought in through the intermediary guidelines and an additional due diligence that is required to be put on such intermediaries is what is causing a problem, because that is untrammeled. There is no specific indication as to what circumstances this can be exercised. And while it may be absolutely right that they may be exercised only in those conditions where there is a proper due process followed of law, but unfortunately till such time that they exist on the intermediary guideline statute books, they can effectively be used in any circumstance. So why is it that there is a need to do so when even the IT Act under 72 of the Act specifically protects the privacy of individuals and makes it actionable in the event that there is breach of such
What
privacy?
is the need to do so?
So it seems to be incongruous.
Jiten Jain?
Can I?
Because the scope of
respond?
misuse and the fear of misuse is always existing. Just a second, let Mr. Jain also come in.
You know, every law, every weapon can be misused, but that does not mean that government should not have, give weapons to its army, or should not have laws in place to deal with the unforeseen circumstances. For example, tomorrow, if there is a case of terrorism or a threat to life and order, or a Mumbai-like incident taking place, where you need to trace the origin of a person planting a bomb, what do? Then you can't say that, no, because we had a political bickering and we didn't want to have all this in place. And India is not the only country doing it. Mind you, United States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, France, all these 6-7 countries have issued a joint communique that, look, we have been facing unprecedented state of worldwide terrorism, and these countries or companies across the world need to put in a mechanism in place that without breaching the privacy of users, we should be able to trace the origin of a content in a particular manner readable by government. Number two, can you trace
Abhishek
the
Malhotra?
origin or the uploader of a message?
Yeah,
without breaking
the only aspect is, as I said,
and
these circumstances and the
just 1 second, please. It is technically possible to track the origin and first uploader of a message without breaking end-to-end encryption. So the propaganda what WhatsApp is spreading by changing the clothes from the attire of a thief to a saint now and trying to project themselves as a champion of privacy is a farce. It is uncalled for. It is just nothing but hypocrisy and propaganda of highest order. It is technically possible to trace the origin of a message without breaking end-to-end encryption.
Just coming in here, I already
Interesting. Abhishek
said
Malhotra,
earlier.
answer that.
Yeah,
WhatsApp,
I said already.
and let me repeat the words used. WhatsApp hiding behind the privacy argument, a thief trying to pass itself off as a saint.
Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate that terms such as these are being used for companies that will if they were not respected, and if their terms and conditions and the ubiquity of the usage that they have actually proliferated over a period of time, and the number of users that they already have, if that kind of a following wasn't there, then I could perhaps justify this sort of a comment. But coming back to the entire purpose of the debate, is the IT Act and the provisions under the IT Act that already exist, are they enough to address all of these concerns? Yes. I only set out some handful of those provisions, 67C, 69, 69A, 69B, and the relevant provisions that are the rule-making powers under 87. Why there is a need to go beyond the scope of that in a manner through executive order, which does not even have the oversight of parliament so that there can at least be a debate about those things, and you just go ahead and notify it in the official gazette without leaving any opportunity for any sort of debate on this.
Really?
That's the reason why the court's doors have been knocked on and to be asked.
Okay, so clearly on the technical aspect, both Mr. Malhotra and Mr. Jain do not agree. Can you specify any one area? Because Abhishek Malhotra says very clearly that the current laws, the existing laws are enough to address your security concerns. Jiten Jain, which are the areas, which is a scenario that remains unaddressed according to you, for which these fresh laws need to be brought in?
You know what? First of all, by filtering their services across India and garnering millions of users in India, WhatsApp has not done us a favor. They are not running a charity. They are taking our data, making millions and billions of dollars out of this country, and
look at
running away
international
without paying taxes. Padmaja, you know how much Twitter has paid last year in taxes? 15 lakh rupees. Is it a joke which is going on? You know, what has government asked? Let's forget this WhatsApp rule, traceability rule. What has government asked? Please appoint 3 officers in India who are residents, whom we can contact for law compliances, grievances, who can remove contents like pornography, child porn, rape videos 24 hours. Has WhatsApp done it? No. They do not even want to appoint 3 officers in India, be it Twitter, Facebook, or anyone, because they think that 40 crore people who are users this country, you know, of WhatsApp, for the 60% revenue what we bring, we are nothing but a market, and this company have nothing but a colonial East India company mindset, where they think they can forcefully take our data. If we don't give, they will keep spamming you with messages 7 times a day to accept their terms and conditions. And once they have collected 95% of consent by tricking them, by fooling them, then they go to courts and look, that is settled. And now we want to come and safeguard the privacy of user, because we don't want to spend any money in traceability and set up a data center or appoint an officer. I think first thing what should be done in this country is that court must club both the petitions, both the privacy policy one which is pending and this one what WhatsApp has filed. Let's look at holistically what these companies have been collecting and what these companies give it to the law enforcement agencies, how much money they pay and how much taxes they pay in India. Let's look at their conduct holistically. Let's not.
But that can happen, Sujata Paul. You know, you can have technical. You can have differences on technical points of view, but when this becomes the subject of a political fight, then it becomes almost imminent that we as a country, and remember these laws are going to apply to us irrespective of our political leanings, our political affiliations, our religion, caste, creed, color. We end up working at cross purposes for political reasons. Answer the allegations of Jiten Jain, where it's given you specific instances where gross violations of the law were done by WhatsApp, and when the Indian government questioned them, they didn't answer. They didn't remove child pornography.
As far as the tax evasion is concerned, I don't think I need to go into that at all. Technical experts, legal advice.
Why not? You are the politicians who are hand in glove with this company.
Hang on, let me answer.
Why not?
What are you getting agitated about? I am not saying that you shouldn't answer. You shouldn't question them. The problem with you, Mr. Jain, is that I am saying that you can question them, but that is for the legal experts to do. What I am concerned about is that how come that when dissenting voices are becoming larger, are being amplified, it is the government which decides that this is against the sovereignty of the country.
Really?
We are part of this country.
And no politicians former ultimately
What does this have to do with dissenting voices? Madam, the simple question being asked of you is that if somebody is circulating, and let's take the lowest common denominator, if somebody is circulating child pornography on WhatsApp and the government wants to know the source of that content, is it a violation of the privacy of that pedophile?
Yes.
According to your argument, it is. That pedophile deserves his or her privacy.
In a compartmentalized manner, I do agree that when it comes to child pornography or when it comes to the sovereignty of the country, when there are issues related to terrorism, the government should have a clear policy. Does the government have it? When these companies came in, China, I did not speak in between. When these companies came in, there were certain laws in place. But right now, in the face of the pandemic, the government
is that is the policy the government is trying to now address.
Can I come?
We have already very clear laws on issues like this, on pornography, on molestation, but when it comes to circulation of such content, that is exactly what is being enforced, or an attempt is being made to be enforced.
The answer is Section 67B.
Yes.
The answer is Section 67B of the IT Act. As I'm going on saying again and again, the provisions already exist in the law for the government or the legal authorities to take action. They already exist. Where is the need for adding an additional layer, not by law of parliament, not where there is a possibility of a debate to be carried out, but in a manner through executive order to be issued, so that there is no opportunity for being able to have a debate around whether there is even a need for doing it.
That is exactly what I was also trying to say.
Okay, no, wait. Since you have raised a technical point, let Jiten Jain answer that, and I'll give the final word to him. On 67B, basically the entire argument comes back to hinge on 67B. It is enough to address all of your concerns, Jiten Jain. Then why this additional layer, which is not even by act of parliament? Jitenjit.
No, there is no new law which has come in. It is the rules under the existing laws which have been clarified. For example, Delhi High Court gave an order 8 years
Exactly.
back.
So why this rule when you already have a 67B in law? Then why these additional
Yes.
rules? That's what Abhishek Malhotra and Sujata Paul are asking.
Yeah. So Delhi High Court gave an order 8 years back. All these companies have to appoint a grievance officer in India. You know what they did? They appointed one person in Ireland who does not even have a mobile number, who never responds on email. Now government is saying you appoint 3 who are residents of India. What is wrong? Anyways, all internet service providers are supposed to, retain the messages. The problem with the existing law is that these companies claim themselves that they were intermediaries. They were protected from the criminal liabilities because they said that we are not responsible for content. We do not modify
And can I just add
upload,
one
delete,
point to
or
that?
anything. Now they are running the moderation of content, so they have to be more responsible. And I have one simple question to ask. I heard Congress spokesmen throughout the day saying on different channels that what is this, stupid BJP government?
Yeah.
They are trying to act, Hitlerish manner, Nazi manner. They have formed a committee of bureaucrats now who will decide what is objectionable and what is not. And Supriya Srinath, she was on me with the other channel, she said the same thing. And when I reminded her, madam, this is the law made by the Congress
Yes.
party in the Congress government. These are the rules of section 69A.
So the blame has to go to the Congress because there's something wrong with the law. And from 2014 to 2021, you could not find any
Okay.
You could not find
Okay.
faults and rectify them in Parliament, right?
All right. You know, there are many more issues. There are issues about how the Supreme Court has also given directions about tightening these laws further, why these rules needed to be brought in. We need more time for this. Right now, I am out of that time, but we're going to be discussing that further on our prime time as well at 8, 9 and 10. For the time being, though, I'll have to thank you both gentlemen, Sujata Paul and Shaina NC. Quick break.